Hi, my name is Tech from Tech Driven, and today I'm going to show you how to replace an O2 sensor in a Toyota Corolla. For this project, what you're going to need is OBD2 scanner. One of these, this is O2 sensors for upstream and downstream, which I will explain later. In the 7/8 wrench or equivalent. And particular model we're working on is 2010 Toyota Corolla LE i4 engine. So let's get started. Alright, so to begin, we have connected our OBD2 scanner. We're gonna turn the ignition on, but the engine not on, just the ignition on. And we're gonna go ahead and select scan for codes. So it's telling us that there's a mode function code. And read codes. Okay, so it's telling us O2 sensor circuit bank 1, sensor 2. There's a difference between how you buy a sensor and how the OBD2 scanner shows you of which sensor is bad. In this case, it's telling us O2 sensor circuit bank 1 and sensor number 2. What this refers to, bank 1 refers to that it's the first muffler. So in case, for example, in this case, since it's the i4 engine, it only has one muffler, and therefore there is no bank 2. It's only bank 1 muffler. So it means the first muffler from driver's side. If we had a V6, then we would have two mufflers with two catalytic converters, and then we would have bank 2. And sensor 2 is referring to the second sensor, which is usually away from the engine. But when you buy the O2 sensors, they show it differently. Okay, so we have the two O2 sensors here. So this is actually, when you order one, this is considered downstream O2 sensor, which is a little different than the upstream. And the way it's referring to upstream would be everything goes from a catalytic converter. So downstream would be before the catalytic converter, and upstream means after the catalytic converter, going away from the engine. So in this case, we're not going to need this one because the bad sensor is actually number 2, which is the upstream sensor, which as you can tell is also different. So I have 2 here for demonstration, but we're going to use this one. This is also the upstream is actually a little more expensive, and you can tell there's more cable to it as well. Alright, so to begin, we're going to start off with taking out the driver's side floor mat. Apologize, that's a little dirty. Haven't had a chance to clean it yet. I'll do that after I'm done working on it. Floor mat is out. Okay. So you want to begin by removing the side plastic here on the door panel. So it actually just pop off. Okay, we're going to put it to the side. Second, the front right here, it also pops off. It's all based on the clips. So you're gonna pull towards yourself, and it's gonna come out. I have cables attached to it because it's from a self-starter here. So just don't rip those off. We're gonna put it on the side as well. Okay, so now that we have the carpet here, we're gonna have to lift the entire carpet. So as you can see here, hopefully, is when I lift this clip from the cables, the carpet is attached here through the clips. I gotta lift that off, and then I'm gonna roll this carpet out. And let me see if we need another panel. I believe we're gonna need to take this panel off, which just snaps off as well. So our OBD2 sensor should be right here. That's the connector. So we're gonna disconnect that, There's actually a push button here on the bottom. It might be on top on yours. Depends how it was mounted. Let me do it without the cameras because it's hard to do with one hand. Okay, I got it disconnected, but I'll show you what I mean. If you don't know which one it is, take out the carpet off first. So we're gonna roll the carpet. As you can see, it runs to the floor right here. So we're gonna push that in as well. That's the way the O2 sensor is coming out. If it was number one sensor or the downstream, it would be under our engine. It would be different work. You wouldn't have to rip the floor out. But however, because it's bank 2, this is where you got to do it. Okay, now that we're under the car, this is the muffler, and then we have our O2 sensor. So that's going towards the back, as you can see. So that's our number 2 sensor because the catalytic converter is actually right here. And there's another sensor in front of this here, which is hiding under the subframe. That'll be our bank 1 sensor number 1, or downstream. Since this is after the O2 sensor, after the catalytic converter, this is our number 2 sensor, which is upstream, because if we went up to the engine, it would be up the stream. So now that we have that, we're gonna remove the clip. You can probably strip it off or use up pliers, probably, or a screwdriver. The new kit should have come with a new clip. So the later. So now we're going to unscrew it. So I'm gonna use the 7/8 inch wrench or equivalent if you have a different size and matrix. Make more work as well. Let's see if it fits. Okay, I got it. So sometimes it goes easy, sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna try see if it goes without a flame. Otherwise, you may have to heat it up to get it going. But in my case, it went really easy. So you gotta do is just unscrew it now. And that's our old sensor. The old sensor and the new sensor here. So what we're gonna do here is just to remove the clip right here, which holds it in place so it doesn't roll, and that way you're not gonna just scrape off with something or a branch and rip it off the cable. And also shouldn't come with a new clip, the one I ripped off. And as you can see, just make sure that the connectors are same. It should actually come with a grease that you can apply to the grease to the connectors to make sure that they're connected properly and doesn't rust. If you have problems for any reason with the O2 sensors after replacing that you still have the same code, just double check the voltage on those connectors on this on a side from inside the car, and I believe there should be 5 volts on each of the sides plus a ground. Okay, now that we have the new O2 sensor prepped, we're gonna feed it from the bottom, but you can also feed it from the ground. It's the only thing that's different is it's gonna be a little easier to push it in because the seal here. But don't lock it in yet because we want to twist the cable around to screw it in. Alright, now that we got the O2 sensor in the bottom, we're gonna go ahead and screw it in. Okay, this is our new sensor. We're going to screw it in. Make sure it's nice and tight. Don't over tighten it because you may break something, but make sure it's nice and tight as well. so be careful when on pins how strong you are, not to overdo it. Alright, so we have screwed in. I added the clip, we'll do it at the last, just so that way the cable is not bent anyway. Remember that little clip that came with the O2 sensor, which is right here? I replaced that, and we're gonna wrap the cable around it. See, like, okay, see how the cable twisted? Because I was turning the O2 sensor. So let's try to unscrew that. Hopefully a little. I'm gonna try to push the isolation here on the cable so that way it doesn't just burn it through. Alright, since I got the clip on there, now I'm gonna put the zip tie in. Make sure it's nice and tight. We can cut it off later. Just give it a little playroom as well. This is so you can unscrew later, but don't give it too much so it's not hanging around, so you can rip it. So give it a little play, but not too much. Alright. For now we're gonna put that in here. Actually, we're gonna cut it off for now. And okay, we're now gonna go in there. As you can see, we can push that in and should seal itself. Boom, for ya. Now we're gonna go back inside and connect it.